Hello and welcome back to the Minnesota Dynasty. Today we have the biggest game of the season as Minnesota on the road takes on number 2, Nebraska, and the winner will be headed to the Big Ten championship game. Who would have thought that Minnesota would be in this situation after starting quarterback Andy McKenzie was injured back in week 1? Here they are today, one step away from the Big Ten championship. It's the biggest game of the season, and we'll see if Minnesota is ready for the challenge. Back deep to receive is Maurice Pratt, and we are underway in Lincoln as Nebraska and Minnesota battle it out for the Big Ten West crown. It's Pratt from 6 yards deep across the 10 to the 20 and brought down after a 28-yard gain. And here comes the Minnesota offense. Andrew Johnson has led this team since the second game of the season and now has Minnesota at number 5 with a huge opportunity in front of them. Johnson play action on 1st and 10, firing first down catch for David Clark, a gain of 11. Andrew Johnson with 15 touchdown passes, 4 interceptions, now to the ground. Alonzo Holland weaving up the gut for a gain of 7. 3rd down and 3 for Minnesota. They come out 3 wide. Blitz from the Cornhuskers. Johnson chased, and the pass is incomplete. Nebraska's defense gets the job done. A unit that only allows 21.2 points per game, and Minnesota's first drive is ended. This Cornhusker offense is built around speed. Both their backs and receivers can fly. Robinson on 1st down and 10. He dumps it off to Thompson, and he is wrapped up out of bounds after a gain of 9. They'll test this run defense of ours with a lot of speed in this backfield. Here's Josh Smart, a sweep outside, and he's brought down by Maurice Hudson, only a gain of 3. Cornhuskers face 3rd down and 7, and Robinson has the screen set up. Caught by Miller, and he gets a block on Gaines up the sideline, and Michael Miller across the 35, a gain of 30. Not good screen defense for Minnesota. And now back to the ground they go, and Miller is brought down in the backfield by Jonathan Starks, a big loss of 4. In the shotgun, Tracy Robinson gives inside, and Josh Smart, a big hole opened up as Smart gains the 1st down. He gets 15. All about these two running backs so far. 2nd down. Robinson blitzed, fires outside, caught by Oliver, close to the marker. He'll be about a yard shy. 3rd down and 1 in the shotgun. It's Smart, redirecting and brought down for a loss by Jared King. Matt Henderson caused Smart to hesitate, and he ran right into King, who made the wrap-up tackle. For the game's first points, a short field goal attempt, and the kick is up and through. 3-0 Nebraska. And now a quick update on some scores in the Big Ten as number 10 Michigan defeats Iowa. They may be representing the East in the Big Ten championship, especially with the upset of Indiana defeating Ohio State by 14 points. Back to our game as Minnesota has taken over. Comes out 3 wide into the ground they go. It's Martindale up the gut, trying to fight and put down after a solid gain of 4. 3rd down and 4 for Minnesota. Again the Huskers blitz, and Johnson fires, and Parker with the drop. Minnesota goes 3 and out. Here is a second look. You can't afford to miss plays like this in games this big. Nebraska ball. They want to run it some more. It's Josh Smart. Gets a block on Gaines, and he sprung to the outside. Starks can't take him down as he continues to sprint in Minnesota territory and down after a gain of 42. This offense can hurt you big time on the ground. And here you saw it, a combination of blocking and great skill from Smart. They've driven back into field goal range. Robinson passing and almost going the other way. Corey Boyd drops the interception. 3rd down Nebraska. And Robinson to Smart, and nobody is fooled. It's Hudson on the tackle, and that will force a second field goal attempt. 6-0, Cornhuskers on top. Back to the pistol for Minnesota, and Martindale is brought down in the backfield, a loss of 2. Great play by Maurice Moore. It's now 2nd and 12. Blitz incoming, quick throw almost picked off by Bryant Campbell. 3rd and 12. We're seeing all around this is a tough defense. Now a big play for Johnson on 3rd down. He stays in the pocket and delivers to Terrence Johnson over the middle. A 14-yard strike and a big 1st down for the Gophers. Now can they string this together with some more? Martindale again stopped on 1st down. He loses 2 more. Not finding many weak links in this defense, and it's their secondary that's their major strength. You have to take what you can get, and Johnson does just that as he dumps off to Morton Parker, who gets 7. 3rd and 5 for Minnesota, stacking 3 wide left. Johnson from the pocket now wants to run and brought down from behind. Johnson can't escape, and Minnesota's efforts are stopped again. Great coverage downfield. This is a fast and talented secondary, and they're making it tough on Minnesota's offense in the first half. Clearly Nebraska in control so far, but they've only scored 2 field goals. Smart on the carry as Nebraska's drive begins. He broke 1 tackle, but here comes the rest of the defense, and Smart ends up with nothing. Corey Boyd, the lone high safety on 3rd down and 10. It's a screen, and the Gophers aren't prepared. It's Smart on the outside. First down is picked up. It's a gain of 14. These screens will continue to hurt us if we can't get in position sooner. New set of downs. Smart again carries, wrapped up by Maurice Hudson. That's a loss of 4. But they can't keep saving their best plays for first down. They have to be more consistent. Robinson, middle, caught by Johnson. Again, Hudson on the stop. Gain of 8. 3rd and 6 for the Huskers. And Minnesota rushes 5. Robinson running, sacked. Jonathan Starks brings him down. That's a loss outside of field goal range. And there's your punt. Great defense. Luckily, Minnesota's poor start on offense has not done much harm. Down by 6 as Martindale carries, broke a tackle across the 30, fighting for the extra yards. That's 15. First down and 10. Again, they want to run it. Martindale bouncing this outside and jukes at the 50-yard line. Back-to-back gains of 15. Now it's 4 wide plus Martindale. Empty backfield for Johnson. He dumps it off. A quick throw to Martin Parker and tackled after a gain of 6. Minnesota 1 of 4 on 3rd down. This time they need 2. They go to the air. Johnson wild over the middle. Nowhere near Adam Kirkpatrick. And a big blown opportunity for Minnesota. They're going to go for it on 4th down and 2. David Clark comes in motion. Johnson blitzed, rolling out of the pocket, sailing downfield, caught first down by David Clark inside the Nebraska 15, and Johnson gets a beautiful throw downfield to continue this Minnesota scoring threat. On the run, then stops. Perfect throw. That's what I like to see. Maybe one of the best plays we've seen from Johnson all year. Now inside, Alonzo Holland, 5 and down at the 1. Minnesota now very close. Diamond pistol formation. And Johnson fakes, brought down back at the 4-yard line. A loss of 3, which can be critical down here in the red zone. Too cute of a play call. Now Minnesota pounds the rock, and Holland brought down after a gain of nothing. 3rd down, Minnesota. This would be a huge wasted opportunity if they can't get this in the end zone. Johnson rolling, firing, touchdown! Kevin Martindale with a 3-yard score, and Minnesota gets the job done. It wasn't pretty, but Johnson finds Kevin Martindale, and your Gophers are on top. Minnesota's defense has given the offense enough time to get going. Now they're up by 1 as Josh Smart carries. It is continuing a great first half with this first down run. 3rd and 5, Nebraska. Inside 2 minutes, and Robinson with a screen. Out to Smart. This time we're ready. It's Maurice Hudson. Smart gets nothing, and there's another stop. You can feel the game shift in our favor. Minnesota up by 1. They have 43 seconds to go in the half. Johnson, play action, firing, caught by Terrence Johnson. First down. They've got to find a way to stretch the field to get this into at least field goal range. Johnson fires, first down catch. It's Martin Parker for 14. Clock stops. Gophers do still have 2 timeouts as Johnson sees some green. He runs left and taking a shot. Gambling downfield. Batted away. Looking deep for David Clark. Incomplete. Not a bad time to roll the dice. Now 15 seconds to go. Johnson pressured. Running again to his left. He'll run this time. Out of bounds. First down with 9 seconds. All you want to do on this play is to get into field goal range. 3 wide Johnson. He lobs downfield where the pass is almost picked off. Great coverage from the Huskers. Not much he could have done. 4 seconds left. Just take a shot. Johnson stepping up. Throwing this pass to the end zone and incomplete. Minnesota up by 1 as we have reached halftime. Very competitive as expected, and I'm not sure any team really has control as we're halfway through. We've become very familiar with these low-scoring defensive games. Another one this week, as neither team really doing too much on offense. You can see the yardage totals, very even so far, but Nebraska has the ball as the third quarter is underway. They go right back to the ground. Josh Smart, a big gain to begin the second half as he gains 25 already in a Gopher territory. They've ran their entire offense through Josh Smart, and here it is again. Smart on the screen, up to the 45 and brought down by Woods, setting up 3rd down and 3. Twin tight ends, they bring one in motion. Running with Smart outside, but a first down saving tackle is made by Matt Smith, setting up a 4th down and 1. And Nebraska, rather than go for it, wants the field goal. From long range, kick is away and it's pushed just barely wide right. Nearly gave the Cornhuskers the lead back, but barely missed it. Minnesota now takes over. They go to the diamond package, running with Alonzo Holland. Makes a move through the middle, he runs for a pickup of 8 yards. Sticking with the diamond package, 2nd down and 2, and once again, Holland past the first wave into the second level, and Holland's brought down after gaining the 1st down. If it's working, stay with it. Now, it's Johnson faking but brought down. The couple option plays they've ran have not worked. 2nd down and 13, here comes the blitz. Johnson rolling, now finds a wide open man. It's Doug Duckett for an easy 16. This offense continuing to find opportunities. Johnson 1st down to the sideline, cut 1st down by Maurice Pratt just ahead of the 10-yard line. Diamond package now as Johnson hands off, and Pratt cannot get outside. He loses one on the carry. Another big 3rd down for Minnesota in the red zone. Can they get this in the end zone? Johnson fakes the handoff, rolling, good coverage. Now he sees some room and takes off with a touchdown. Andrew Johnson extends the Minnesota lead with his legs as Minnesota can make this an 8-point game. You see great coverage, but our quarterback can run, and he takes advantage. Gophers getting solid play now from both sides of the ball. We'll see if the defense can continue playing well as Robinson fakes the Smart. It's an option play, but Robinson takes off, almost has the ball stripped. He hangs on and gets 8 yards. Twin tight ends for Nebraska. Robinson fakes, but Minnesota was not biting, and down goes Tracy Robinson. He lost 5. Great play by the senior Matt Henderson. All of a sudden, Nebraska needs a big 12-yard gain. Robinson takes a shot long and almost picked off by Paul Patrick. Another great job by this defense. The second half going Minnesota's way. The drive begins, 1st and 10. Great fake to Martindale. Now Johnson runs, has some room across the 40. A block from Holland, and here he goes. Inside the 20. Goodbye. 77-yard touchdown for Andrew Johnson. This play could not have been executed better. A great fake, a block from Kirkpatrick, and there's Holland with a touchdown securing block. Minnesota's up by 15, and Nebraska's in some trouble. They still want to run the football, but Smart can't find much room. He only gets 2. On 2nd down, a 3-man front for the Gophers. It's Smart again. Takes the draw and is put down for a loss. This time it's Andre Gaines. Nebraska desperately needs this conversion, and they go to the screen for it. It's Josh Smart, and Smart driven out of bounds by Henderson, and Gaines, he does not get it. The Gophers have clearly taken over in this 3rd quarter. The defense gets another stop, and the ball is back in the hands of the offense. They go to Martindale, and he gets 6 on this carry. Nebraska needs a stop. Can Minnesota get 4 yards? Johnson, good protection. Lobbing, 1st down, Doug Duckett, sprinting in Cornhusker territory down to the 35-yard line. Very good blocking on that last play as Johnson now fakes. Again, they block well, and Martin Parker is wide open. Jukes at the 20-yard line on the 1st down again for the Gophers. 35 seconds to go in the 3rd. Handoff Holland, stretching outside, a man misses. Holland turns upfield, touchdown Minnesota! Continuing to dominate this 3rd quarter, Minnesota again in the end zone as Nebraska was offsides. Here's another look. Alonzo Holland lowers the shoulder, and this lead is extended to 22 points. It's all coming apart for Nebraska as they have let Minnesota take full control. The Gophers have seized all opportunities in this 2nd half as Nebraska again trying to run it. Smart fighting for all he can and only gets 5 on this carry. They have to find another way to get some yards. They've been far too conservative. Now Tracy Robinson on the run, broke a tackle, ball knocked out, and Minnesota recovers. Forced out by Hudson, recovered by Jonathan Starks. This has become an absolute nightmare for the Cornhuskers. Minnesota can do no wrong, it seems, at this point. They have a 22-point lead, and they're once again in possession. Handoff Martindale. He'll try to get this outside as he's put down hard. Only gets 4. We've reached the fourth quarter as Minnesota faces 3rd and 7. Big blitz, but Johnson finds Kirkpatrick a 3rd down conversion, and this drive will continue. 3 wide on 2nd and goal. Johnson, quick underneath, caught by Doug Duckett, and he's tackled near the 1 or 2 yard line. 3rd down and goal in the I formation. It's Alonzo Holland into the end zone. Touchdown Gophers. This has become a blowout, 35-6. I have no clue what happened at halftime, but Minnesota has been an unstoppable force since. Robinson running, he picks up the 1st down, this time slides. New set of downs. Just over 5 minutes to play. What can Nebraska do? They have to go long. Robinson with time, outside, picked off! Andre Gaines, and he will return inside the 20, and Gaines, pick 6! And this has continued to become a one-sided affair. Interception, Andre Gaines, his 3rd touchdown of the season. The Boo Birds have been uncaged, and Minnesota is primed for the Big Ten Championship. Could that be the knockout blow to Nebraska's Big Ten Championship dreams? Robinson stepping up, and a great catch by Casey Coles. This is a 36-point game, and they have to get some big plays. 4.5 to go. Robinson, an aggressive attempt downfield, and Curtis leaps for a fantastic grab near the 15 of Minnesota. Inside of 4 minutes. 3rd and 2 Huskers, and Robinson. Excellent protection, and Curtis in the end zone with a 6-yard touchdown reception. But this minor success has taken Nebraska too long. Minnesota now only 3 minutes from victory as Martindale carries, and he fights for the 1st down at the end. It's a gain of 12. Running clock, and Nebraska not even using their timeouts. Have they conceded defeat? Alonzo Holland powering for a 1st down, and that should do it. Your Minnesota Golden Gophers are Big Ten West champions. 4 games in a row on the road, 4 straight victories, and today in dominant fashion. You don't see too many games like this. Very competitive and low scoring in the first half, a 7-6 score. And then Minnesota hit the ground running in the second half as Nebraska had no answer for the offense nor the defense, and Minnesota gets a 42-13 victory. Nebraska relied too heavily on one player, and in the second half he couldn't find any running room. Again, we're seeing this defense improve as they contain the offense for most of the second half, get 2 big turnovers, and then the offense just plays their game and doesn't turn it over. This may have been one of the best games Andrew Johnson has played all year. There was the 77-yard touchdown and a bunch of really good throws. The 4th down throw to David Clark. There was a 3rd down pass to Doug Duckett. An overall great team victory as we transition to recruiting, but sadly no new recruits this week. We do have one on our board who was a very good defensive tackle prospect, a run stopper, who has committed to UCLA. Now the updates on the board, and we could be closing in on a couple of these prospects, but we're nearing the offseason now, so a lot of these competitions may end up going to off-season battles, and who knows how those will go. It's always unpredictable. But I like the class that we have constructed thus far. Now to our final matchup, the last game of the regular season. It's Minnesota and Purdue as your Golden Gophers are now number 2 in the nation. We took down Nebraska and took their spot in the rankings, and that means that Minnesota may be contending for the national championship. What a season this has turned into. Minnesota is 9-2, and they'll play the 2-9 Boilermakers in the final game of the regular season back home in TCF Bank Stadium. Thank you all for watching today's game. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more Minnesota Dynasty, and comment below your thoughts on today's game and who you thought was most key in today's victory. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys against Purdue in the last game of the regular season. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you next time.